Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Bianca Janel. I make videos on lifestyle, do everything from beauty content to makeup reviews, skincare reviews, anything beauty related I probably film. So if that sounds good to you, I would subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. So for today's video, we are going to be going over oily skin. If you're not new to my channel, then you know I'm always talking about my oily skin. I just feel like that has always been my main concern, and I feel like finally I've started to understand my skin even better. I feel like I've done a couple things to change it up, and I'm not as oily as I used to be. I actually mentioned in a couple of videos ago that I was like, I think I'm kind of like combination skin, and that wasn't even the goal, but I just feel like I've definitely learned how to get the oils under control. So I have a couple of tips to share with you guys, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so like I said in the intro, we are going over oily skin hacks, tips, I don't know, tricks. Like I said, if you're not new to this channel, I'm always talking about my oily skin because that has always been my problem. Ever since I was little, I've always been super oily in my T-zone, in everything, even my hair. I always feel like my hands are clammy. Like I just feel like I run oily. So I feel like I've definitely had to learn how to get it under control, which has had its challenges. I'm 30 now and I feel like I finally kind of understand my skin. Again, our skin's always changing. Like that's the crazy part. So anyways, I finally feel like I've solved the problem. I don't know, at least for myself. And like I just said, right now I do want to preface that I just turned 30 this year, so I'm getting older, so my skin is changing. So I feel like that had a bit of contribution to why I'm not running as oily as I used to. But I've noticed it for the past year. Like I'm like, oh wow, like I'm not as oily in this area like I used to be. And I think it comes down to, there's a lot of things that I feel like it comes down to. That's why I just want to share a couple tips with you guys today to tell you guys how I feel like I got it under control. So the very first tip I always say to everyone: water. It's like, it's not a secret. Like this is what everyone says, whether it's with skincare, working out, lifestyle. I feel like that's a big reason as to why my skin isn't as oily. I drink a lot of water. I try to drink 4 of these a day. Like that is my goal. I'm on my 3rd one right now. So my goal is usually to go up to 4. I think that's a gallon. I think I kind of measured it. I think that's about a gallon or maybe a little less. So my goal is to always try to hit about a gallon of water a day. I don't always do it, but that is my goal. And that's the easiest way for me to track it, is like how many of those I've had a day. So that's just a tip right there. Drink a lot of water. And especially myself, I have to drink a lot of water because I also intake a lot of caffeine. So, and I know that that is another reason too. I try to limit some of my caffeine. Like before, I used to have coffees like in the middle of the day, and now I'm trying to stop that if I can. Still a major problem, I'll be honest, but there are some days that I don't. So I just feel like that helps. So definitely water is my first tip, slash even just what you eat in general. I mean, I'm not like the healthiest eater, but I try to be. I don't really follow a diet or anything right now. I'm kind of just intuitive as to what I feel like my body needs. And I know that when I eat a lot of junk, it shows on my skin. And that's all the time. So even whether I have a lot of chocolate, which that is my vice, I always have a lot of chocolate. So when I go overboard on it, I break out and I'm more oily. Whenever I drink a lot, I'm more oily. So I feel like I said, the intake of water and what we consume has a big part into doing of how our skin reacts. And I feel like my skin would react by just being oily. Like it was kind of telling me something, and I mean, sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't, but that's just a major component as to why I think I've been able to control the oils. The second tip I want to go over is double cleansing. That was a major shift in my skincare game. I feel like I started doing that maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, maybe 1.5 years ago to 2 years ago. And it's because I was reading about Korean skincare, and their skin is just always so beautiful. So I was trying to follow like a regimen on it, and they were talking about double cleansing. I even have a blog post on it. I'll link down below for you guys. But that was a major game changer. And I only double cleanse in the evening. So what that means is that the first product you use to clean your face should be like a cleansing balm or an oil that's going to help break apart the makeup, the bacteria, the dirt on your skin. Then you rinse that off and then you go in with your cleanser. So the way I like to break up my makeup right now is I actually use Squalene Oil. I love this stuff. I'll mention it again a little bit later in this video, but I truly love this product, and one of the reasons is because it's an oil. So it really helps break up my makeup. I'll break up my makeup with that. And it is a little bit more dense oily. Sometimes I use that. I love the cleansing balm. And there's one other one that I tried recently and I love. I think it's called Zero. I forgot what it's called. I'll link it down below. But regardless, you want to start like with a cleansing balm or an oil to break apart the makeup. Then when I go in, I'll choose my face wash. So right now I'm actually using a face wash by Coquette. This is the cream. It's in my shower. I use a face wash and I use a scrubber and I use a face scrubber, and that's how I actually remove the makeup from my face. Cleansing really helped the oil stay at bay. Like, I noticed after doing that was the biggest shift in my skincare game. So I really recommend that. Tip number 3 is incorporating a toner. Toners really help keep oils at bay as well. I love this Olay Hendrickson one. It's the Balancing Force Oil Control Toner, and I definitely feel like it helps control the oils in my skin. And then the second one I've been loving recently has been the Good Molecules Niacinamide Brightening Toner. It's formulated with niacinamide, vitamin C, licorice root. It helps to extract and brighten and improve the appearance of enlarged pores. So normally when you have enlarged pores, and I definitely do, I have rarely enlarged pores right here. I feel like that's what contributes to like the oils coming out. And there's nothing really that you can do about your pore size. I mean, I think unless you go see a professional, there's not really much you can do at home. You're not going to be able to shrink them or anything. That I think that's actually a myth. I've done everything, anything that says to shrink in your pores. It doesn't really work like that. Like I said, unless you go to a professional, get like a laser or something done. Your pore size are your pore size. It's just more about making sure that you keep them clean. So that's why going back to the double cleansing, I feel like that's why it really helped, because I would make sure my skin was like squeaky clean, and that contributes to keeping the oils at bay as well. So number 3 was toners. That's a big component into adding into your skincare routine. I only use a toner in the evening. I don't like using it in the morning. I'll use it in the evening after I wash my face, and then I'll follow with my whole skincare routine. Now, tip number 4 is actual skincare. So it's funny, a lot of people think because you're oily, you should stay away from oils or hydration, and it's actually the opposite. Man, if I could go back in time, that would probably be one of the first things I tell myself is to, girl, apply your oils. When I was younger, I stayed away from everything oil. Like anything that had oil in it, I wanted to say oil free and all the products that I used. And now I'm like kicking myself, because now I realize incorporating the oils help. I think that's another reason why we stay oily, is because we're producing too many oils, because we want that oil on our face. I feel like you should really listen to your skin and be intuitive if you can, and that's what I decided to do. And now I incorporate so many oils into my skincare routine. I incorporate a lot of hydration, and I don't mean just water, just like hydrating products. So going back to the Squalene oil, I drench my face in this. I love this oil. I always say it's like a magical oil, because it is. Like anytime that I have a problem with my skin, whether it's like a flare up, or sometimes I have a breakout, or sometimes I get like a little rash, whatever it is, I always run to this face oil. So that's one of my favorite face oils. Another couple of my favorite oils is this Olay Hendrickson Pure Truth Youth Activating Oil. This is a really nice and dense oil. A lighter oil is a Strawberry Booster oil by Biby. It's an affordable product. You can get this at Target. Another one, I love mixing these two together. I don't know why. I just feel like my skin reacts really well to these two mixed together, and I will drench my face, my chest, my arms in these two oils. And then in the evening, I use a really dense and rich and moisturizing moisturizer. This one is the Willie Hendrickson Strength Peptide Boost Moisturizer. I wanted something with peptides in it, and this moisturizer is just so dense. You can see I'm really going through this stuff. I love it. And in the morning I will use like the C Rush Brightening Gel Cream by Olay Hendrickson. This is another one of my favorites. It's actually really light on the skin, and again, I would normally have stayed away from this because I think that I'm oily, but now I want dewy, like radiant skin, so I turn to stuff like this. Summer Fridays has a Dream Oasis one that I love. So tip number 4 is really about your skincare. Don't be afraid of oils. Figure out a way to incorporate them into your routine. Same thing even with hydrating products. Find a way to incorporate it into your routine. Now my 5th and final tip for today is ice rolling. So again, I feel like I've been doing this for about 2 years and this has really made a difference. So to be honest, in the evening time, I don't care if I'm oily. Like I try to go to bed as oily as I can, and then during the day, I don't want to be as oily. Like I want to have a nice glow. I want to have that hydration to the skin, but I want to learn how to control my oils. And one way that I control the oils is with ice rolling. So I said earlier that I don't think that you can shrink your pores, and I mean that for a long period of time. Like I don't think like today the size of my pores will be the size of my pores tomorrow. That's what I mean. But with ice rolling, I do feel like it shrinks the pores at the time. So that's why I actually really love to do this before makeup, because I do feel like it tightens my pores. I can apply my makeup on, it goes on flawlessly, it looks really nice and even. And then yes, throughout the day with the temperature changing, then I do feel like my pores go back to their normal size. It just is what it is. But ice rolling has really tightened and toned my face, and I feel like that's another reason why I'm able to control the oils. So actually I'm going to share one more tip with you guys. I'm only going to do 5, but my other little tip is to not wear makeup as much. So actually what I'm learning, and I also another thing that I'm learning is to really not wear as much makeup. So even like what I did today, I only concealed certain spots that I needed, but my skin can breathe. I have a little bit of blush, but the rest of my skin is showing. I put on a good amount of skincare. Like I said, I just kind of dotted on the places that I felt like I needed to conceal a little bit, and that's it. I'm letting my skin breathe. I feel like if you wear makeup constantly, then you're constantly clogging up your pores, and I feel like that's what contributes to oil a lot. So now I try to go as natural as I can most days. I mean, some days I still like to wear a lot of makeup, like it's just fun, but for majority of the week I try to wear a lot less makeup and really let my skin breathe. So that's just an extra tip for you guys. So if you guys like these videos where I go over certain topics, like whether it's like oily skincare tips, I actually think that the next video I want to do is how I went from washing my hair every single day now to only washing my hair 2 to 3 times a week. That's major. I have a lot of tips on that. It's definitely been a journey the last 2 months of figuring out my hair, but I figured it out and I only wash my hair 2 or 3 times a week now. So if you guys want to see that video, tell me in the comments down below or give this video a thumbs up. If you like this channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.